in a yellow sweat. Man, I'm hot. What am I doing? I got this on because it was cold outside. What's up, Dean?
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
Jim. Great.
Uh, Jim. That's like Chim Chim. That was the chimp from Speed Racer. Remember that? Chim Chim?
I do remember Speed Racer. That was like one of the first Jap animation series, that, to hit the country when we were kids,
I just want to point out your microaggression there and perhaps your cultural insensitivity. It's not Jap animation, it's anime.
It's anime.
No, it's called anime. It's not called Jap animation. Oh my gosh.
If we're looking to be politically correct,
canceled.
Totally
canceled.
I'm canceled. The cancel culture.
This is not the place to be if you're worried about that.
Yeah.
What's up, Chase? Welcome. So, it's interesting. I was thinking about coaching today, Dean. I was thinking about, one of the reasons why I've hired coaches in the past and why I've not hired coaches in the past, because it's interesting that the right coach can help you make a huge difference in your business, but the wrong coach can actually really set you back. I know that's probably not what people want to see, but I'm aware of. I'm gonna give two examples. One, I will give the example. Diego says, Jim, your beard has more watch time than most people's channels. Wow, I appreciate that. I've worked hard on this. So, a couple of examples. Hired a coach to help me to really get over a roadblock, and it didn't take days, weeks, months. It was that one insight that I got from this person who just explained to me what they do, how they would handle my situation. And it was boom, 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 boom. Everything just fell into place. As soon as you got that one, then everything else falls into place. And then I've seen other coaching, and I'm just going to say that this person spends a lot of money on self-promotion, but yet I've seen so many people follow this person's coaching and just totally submarine their businesses, and you can watch the process happen. Mm-hmm. And it's because this person has been really good at talking about theory, and it sounds really, really good, but they've never actually done what they're teaching other people to do. So I think if you're going to get a coach, make sure that the coach that you hire is actually doing what you're hiring them to do. Now, that's really the key. And the reason I say that is because no matter what you're doing, but especially if it's in the online space, in any way, shape, or form, which pretty much everything anymore has an online space component to it, that unless they're doing it now, they're teaching you what worked yesterday. And what worked yesterday, principles don't change, but tactics and tools and strategies and other stuff do change. So you need somebody who's doing it and doing it now. So I don't know, I was just giving you the opening salvo of what we might talk about today, Dean.
Well, I totally agree. And before I take it, I know that you have at least one coach now that you use for your health and to stay fit, right? Like you do.
Yes. Yeah. I have somebody that actually has guided me for the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, it's been consistent every week. I mean, I communicate with my coach every single week. He gives me exactly what I need to be doing. It's Stu Smith, former Navy SEAL, guy that trains all the Navy SEALs coming out of the Naval Academy. And the funny thing is, over the last 8 years of him training me, his techniques have changed. What's up, Randall? His techniques have changed. The way he looks at periodization and what we do throughout the year, and then what we do throughout the week with changes in our bodies. My body's changed a bunch, even just since my early 40s now to my mid 50s. Mid
Plus,
40s.
plus it's specific to you and
Right.
to your lifestyle, to your body type, to what your body responds to. So he's
Right.
looking at everything on a very, like, almost a one-to-one, not almost, but a one-to-one coaching experience, because everybody's different.
Right. Exactly. So it's tailor made.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. And anytime somebody gets into, um, anytime it's always a one size fits all, this is always just the way we do it. If that's always just the way you do it, then why are you coaching? You just have people read your book. I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm being
I know.
100% serious. If you can't adapt it and customize it and be able to make it apply to a specific situation, you're not really a coach. You're just reading your own book. So sell a course and save people the issues.
Yeah.
So
I
tell me
agree.
about a great experience you've had with a coach, and then maybe not a great experience. Contrast the two.
No, so I have, through these, since I've been in this business, or I would say, I even from my stand-up years, I may not have a coach directly, but there are comedians that I would watch and just go, oh my gosh, why is this person a standout? Why are they exceptional? Why are they sensational at what they do?
Right.
Then taking one thing and incorporating it. And I'm not saying stealing their act or their jokes or anything. I'm talking about behavior,
Right.
right? It's behavior. And it completely, I mean, literally, that one thing just changed the way I performed. And one of the things that was that golden nugget, and this is like what you just said, you could put time and time in with the right coach, the right mentor, get one thing from them, and it can completely change your
Everything.
business, your lifestyle, everything. And this is what happened. And I'll never forget, a comedian said, learn to love what for as a stand-up, learn to love the silence. That was huge for me in a big way, because I always felt that if I wasn't hearing laughter, the audience didn't like me, or they weren't interested, or they were checking out. So I would have to, I remember in the first few years that I was doing stand up, it would just be one joke after the next. You just keep it, just fill that space, fill that space. And it was, I mean, I was funny, I was working, but it didn't feel like me. It wasn't my rhythm. I was doing what I thought was funny instead of being who I was and allowing and trusting that real me to come out. So when that happened, that completely changed my comedy. Then when I got into, when I got into business and I got into, so I was doing, I was a real estate investor full time for 10 years, from 2001 to 2011 till the crash.
Mhm.
And I remember, and I'll never forget this, in 2002, I was buying houses for lease options that were under $100,000 because I was afraid to spend
Ugly
more
little
than
houses. Yeah, I've been
exactly
there. Been
blue
there.
collar neighborhoods, the houses that'll always just keep throwing off cash flow, right?
Yeah,
And then there
maybe.
was a house that came available around the house from me that was in where I live here. That was, it was $228,000. It
Uh-huh.
had $228,000 in debt on it,
Uh-huh.
and it was in foreclosure. And I was going, oh man, I was scared to death. And I had a business mentor at the time that I paid a lot of money for. And he said, okay, we're just going to tack on another zero. That's all. It's all you got to do. It's just between your ears. That's all it is. We're going to make this little shift. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to go home and you're going to pursue this property. And if the numbers work, you're going to buy it. I was scared S-less. Just
Spoopless?
S-less,
Spoopless.
Quoting Stephen Stills at Woodstock.
Okay.
So I came home and literally he gave me this assignment, and this is taking action. I was just, okay, I'm going to do this. I pursued the house, and I was able to negotiate $100,000 in debt off this property and buy the house for 128 because
Wow.
it had three loans on it. The second two were in default, totally in default. It was going to foreclosure. The first lien on it was for 128 grand, was 2 months behind on payments. And I approached them and I said, I could buy your house. I'll negotiate with the bank. And what I did was I called the second two, the lien holders, and I negotiated away all the debt. I paid $8,000 for $100,000 in debt. And then I lease optioned the property at $249.
Dang.
So I made $125,000 on that house because 2 years later, they exercised their option.
This is not an income claim. Your results may vary.
So I'm just saying one thing, one piece of advice, though it scared the living daylights out of me. Fortunately, I had the foresight to say, okay, this is what I'm focusing on. This is what I'm going to do. Right. And literally in less than a week, I was able to purchase that house just by doing what my mentor told me to do.
And that's normally what people who do high ticket coaching, not low ticket coaching, $1,000 a year or something like that. That's more like that's not high ticket. No, it's not a course, but it's the purpose of going into a high ticket coaching program is to get that one thing, and it's also the spirit and the energy behind the investment. It's like you're like totally focused, as opposed to something where it's $1,000 or something for a year. Yeah, I'm interested. If I pick something up, it's cool. And, I'll just kind of be casually interested. But that focus of, okay, I just invested more than I spent on my first car.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get something out of this. And Diego, that's it. Did you see what Diego said?
I love that. Yes.
He said, it solidifies your resolve. That's tremendous. I love that. I'm gonna model that phrase there, Diego. Well done. That's right. Hey, Anna. But that's what it does. I mean, it totally gets you focused in on getting the value that you're supposed to get. And it's like, I better take action on this because I paid for this. That's the other thing. So it focuses your attention, it focuses your action. That's what gets you to get the results, as opposed to, I bought an ebook on something, all the people that bought my 7-day ebook.
Look, and you're not only what it did for me. I was not only financially invested, I was all in emotionally invested. And right. I didn't want to let myself down. I didn't want to come back 3-4 months later to this group that met 4 times a year live back then.
Yeah.
And have egg on my face because they knew I was sitting in the room and everybody knew what I needed to go do to get out of the place where I was. I was like at a plateau. And in order to get out of that, if I wanted to get on that upward hockey stick, I better do that. And I'm telling you that it just changed everything. It changed the way I thought about money. It changed the way I thought about my actions as it related to finances and money. And on just so many different levels, it completely changed my thinking.
Yeah.
And it was, and being surrounded by the people in the room who were the rock star real estate investors and business owners really helped. I mean, I felt that they were behind me. If I needed to reach out to somebody, I could do that. I would have their support. And I did do that too. I'm going, okay, I've got this now. Now what do I do? What's the next step? They were there for me.
Well, also that, and you didn't want to look like a chump.
Exactly.
It was also the, I I'm holding myself out there as someone who's doing this. I'm with these people that I know are doing it. And so now I'm going to, I have to do it. I don't want to look like a jerk, but the funny thing is I bet a lot of them were looking at you like you really had it together and they were feeling and thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like the dumbest guy in the room, which I love.
I can understand why you would feel that way.
Exactly. When I'm on this thing, when I'm here with you, Jim, I'm the dumbest guy on the team.
Oh,
and
stop.
I welcome,
No.
I welcome that
No.
level.
No.
I refuse to accept that mullet. That was too easy, and the self-deprecating humor that wasn't it. That wasn't it. You gotta work on that, okay?
I'll work on that, Pickles. I'll work on it. Pickles McGillicuddy.
So, but you're absolutely right. So that's why I think it also forces you to be more organized. It forces you, it gives you a framework and a social responsibility and all that stuff to build on and around, instead of what most people are doing was they're just kind of, navigating down the river of life, if that makes sense.
It was definitely out of my comfort zone.
So if you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I did. And I didn't want to show up with egg on my face the next time we met.
But if you look at some of these high ticket coaching things, I'll throw out the example of Russell and his inner circle. $50,000 they charge. Mm-hmm. I think they've got 100 people in it, and there's a whole identity around that. And so now, he had 100 people at 50, and I think they've got 20 or 25 people at 100,000.
Yep.
And I think they've got 10 people at 250,000, something like that. It's not a bunch. So what's up, Eduardo? Eduardo's over at jimanddeanshow.com. So, it's interesting though, that identity is tied to it as well, just like what you said. And so we've been talking about this for a while, about coming out with our own high ticket coaching program. And we actually launched it today. We actually sent the first email about it about 2-3 hours ago. It's about within the last 2 hours. We sent the email out, sent it out to all the people who bought Copywriting Secrets, and then the people inside my membership were the only people that we invited to it so far. And what's up, Pete? And so it's interesting, the way we've structured ours as opposed to the way that other people structure theirs. Ours is all about us really digging into the business of the people on a consistent basis, instead of just meeting like 3 or 4 times a year and you get an hour and that's pretty much what you get. We chose to structure ours differently. And just as a quick overview, one of the first things that you get is you get a 2-hour intensive session with Dean and me live. Now, that's right there. Where are you going to get that kind of one-on-one attention specifically for your business, from people at our level, for what we're charging? Dean, go ahead and throw the link. Can you throw the link in the chat?
Yes,
to where people could go read the letter. But that's the number one thing, is where, if you were to hire us for a day, it'd be $25,000 a piece. So that'd be $50,000 for a day. So right there, 2 hours with us, $50,000. I mean, that's like a $15,000 value. So then the next thing that you get, we don't mess around with, email or anything like that. If you've got a problem, do you want an answer now or later? And the answer is you probably need it right now. So what we're going to do is the people who are in our copywriting inner circle, Copywriters Inner Circle, are actually going to get our personal cell phone numbers. And you'll get 6 10-minute 911 calls with us. So you got a problem, you pick up the phone. You don't send an email, wait for a response. You pick up the phone, talk to us on the phone. Next thing you're going to get is you're going to get every well, twice a month, every 2 weeks, twice a month, we're going to do a hot seat format. So you're going to show up. You're going to be able to. Oh, did you put it in the private chat or did you put it in
Yes,
the chat?
I have a private chat, but it says
Okay.
chat
I
with
got it.
host and other guests. Okay.
Okay.
So if you can.
So I'm going to paste this in there so everybody can get it. So you can go check it out. Because we've been mentioning this for the last however long. So you're going to get, it's screwing, the link's screwing up. Thanks, StreamYard. Thanks, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want us to do this. So you're going to get the 2-hour intensive. You're going to get the 6911 calls. You're going to get the twice a month hot seat format. We're just dig right into whatever. If you've got an issue with your sales letter, your ad, your email, any other issue in your business, excited to, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on your business. Then we're also going to do 2 live events, virtual events, two full day events. So we're going to get on for an entire day and work on your business. And then we're going to do 1 2-day event in a fun location. We are hoping that the, hey, Susan, could you go post that stuff in all the different places where we're live? Because when I did it it only went to like a couple places through StreamYard. If you could just put it in all the usual spots, please. So it worked for her. So we're going to be doing the live 2-day event, and hopefully what we'll be doing is 2 days live before the gym boat. So hopefully you're going on the gym boat as well, but we'll be doing 2 days. So it'll most likely be in Miami. We'll be doing 2 days, just a 2-day intensive. So that's a lot of time devoted to your business, not just loading you down with a bunch of stuff and say, hey, watch this and do this and watch this, or you can talk to our coach or something like that. You actually be working with us personally. No cut on other things that are structured that way, not in the least. Okay. Those work great, but this is really less of a coaching than it is a mastermind. This is more like a mastermind because you're going to be associating with people who are taking their businesses to the next level. People we have in there already are doing significant businesses. And so this is what we're doing in this space. But I don't know. I don't even think we should call it coaching. We should call it more a mastermind. Copywriters Inner Circle Mastermind.
Well, yes. And I think in the sales letter, we refer to it as a mastermind. And the one thing that will be consistent is that this isn't just one person. Where most coaching and masterminds, there's one person that hosts, or you have the coach who might have a series of coaches working for them. This is Jim and Dean. This is both of us. So you get 4 eyeballs on your copy, and on your copy, what we call the 3 pillars of business: your avatar, ideal customer; your offer, how irresistible, creating an irresistible offer for you; and your copy, your messaging. How persuasive and compelling is that to get people to whip out their credit cards?
Yep.
So, and those of you who are familiar with Jim and I, the reason we love working together is that there's a lot of ways in which we are similar and see things the same way, and there's a lot of ways in which we have different perspectives on it. So that's what you're going to get, because we can sit back from the experience that we have on reviewing multiple paid web pages and copy and funnels and landing pages and webinars and emails and the sequences.
And ads.
We can take a look at something
and stories.
Stories, guarantees, scarcity, all the things, the emotional and psychological triggers and hot buttons that belong in great copy, no matter how short, no matter how long, and no matter what platform you're using. Meaning, is it a webinar? Is it in an email? Is it a sales letter? Is it a video sales letter? Is it a YouTube video? So you get us looking at this stuff, not only as someone who's got experience, two guys who have had experience doing this, but we could step back and be objective and subjective about it as consumers.
Yeah.
And say, oh, what's missing here for me?
Right.
Where are the issues? Where are the challenges?
Plus, you'll get the mastermind effect of the other mastermind members. So you get us, plus you get other people's perspectives as well. And that's going to make a huge difference. What's up, Sonny?
Right. So what you just said, you get what I like to call cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Right. Of other people's businesses, where you might be in with somebody who's in real estate and you're in e-commerce, but you can see something from the real estate that can apply to e-com that hasn't been done before. And you go, oh my goodness, holy smokes, I never thought of that. That is brilliant.
Or you'll just as valuable is you often are going to get that thing like the emperor's new clothes, where everybody's like, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great. And then the person who knows nothing, the innocent little kid goes, yeah, that guy's naked. This thing's missing something. And everybody goes, oh, yeah. So there you go. So Daniel, happy to email that to you. No problem. We have the link in there that'll tell you everything. I mean, if we did email you, I would literally just email you the link that's in the comments. But happy to email that to you. No problem. Now, I do want to clarify one thing for Diego. It says, oh, yeah, that stack is mouthwatering, especially the late night calls to Jim and Dean. Yeah, that's the one thing. I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, so you probably are not going to get me, but I will call you back the next morning. So there's some level of
you have, here's what I want to say to Diego. If you have a business emergency at 10 o'clock at night, you're in the wrong business.
Right. Yeah. And I guarantee you there ain't no problem. I can solve you at 10 o'clock at night.
The only thing you could be doing is working as a heart surgeon or an ER doctor.
Or as a webcam performer. And again, I can't help you with that. But, can definitely call you back in the morning. So.
Right. Or you're a beat cop or a narc, and you got a perp at 2 a.m.
Jim, what do I do? Beat him. So
take him out.
Yeah. So yeah, Diego says, "Uh-oh, there goes my OnlyFans play." So they are changing the rules, Diego. You're going to need to get a little bit more creative. So I think the hook is going to be even more important. Hook, as in hook, like headline hook, not, I think Mr. Pickles should have answered that question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's our big thing. I mean, I know this, I should be jumping up and down and stuff like this, but it's a pretty easy sale. If you feel like being able to work with Dean and me for the next year, to look at your copy, to give you input on your avatar, on your offer, on your copy, on your emails, on your sales letter, on your video sales letter, on your webinar, on your close, on your stack, on your ads, on anything and everything, and to be a part of a mastermind that's totally focused on increasing conversion, increasing sales, getting more clicks, making more profits, then it's definitely something that you should check out. We have the link in the comments, and it's definitely something that you should check out.
Jim and I will be taking a holistic approach to looking at your sales process.
And Susan said she just emailed Daniel, so she sent it to you. Appreciate it. So she said she sent it to that email address that you put in the comments. So we'll double check, but again, if you just click the link, it'll take you over to what's what.
And what I'll do is I will copy it as well, since Daniel, I'll be the one you'll be speaking with about this anyway. So it'll come from my email. Look for it, dean@onebigIdeamarketing.com.
Cool. All right. So do we feel like answering a question?
Sure, let's take questions.
This is kind of long, and I think this is the kind of question that would probably, and this is like an all-day seminar, but Doug asked, so Diego, just contact the help desk or contact Susan, and we'll check it out. Not a problem. Okay, so Doug asks, how do I'm going to just read you the whole thing. All right. How do I sell 50,000 copies of my books and market and sell big ticket items? Okay, This is kind of a general question.
Yeah.
But I've written 7 books. I'm a fitness trainer, former paratrooper, competitive kickboxer, willing to learn and work hard. So I think the number one thing that you need to do, I'm just going to give you again, I cannot explain the nature of the universe in 5 minutes, but what I can do is point you in the right direction. So number one thing is you got to get really clear on who your avatar is. So you got 7 different books. You got, you got all this stuff. So it sounds like you're either really focused in or you've got 7 different books out here, but choose a big idea, choose a big problem that you solve for people, and have a really, really good hook to go with it. And so when you've got your avatar, you've got a great offer, a great hook, then it becomes an issue of having a great funnel for your book, using the book to build a list, then taking that list and using that as a giant sorting process as you build a relationship with that list. There are going to be certain people that are going to be interested in more and more and more from you. So then you market to those people a big ticket item, whatever it is, but still the thing that's going to help your avatar get to the next level, and really focus in on just selling the hell out of that book. Because if the book is the kind of the tip of the spear or the top of the funnel, then, and you have everything else organized the right way, then it's just a function of selling as many books as you can. And that's called getting out there and just beating the bushes, doing content, doing ads, doing webinars, doing podcasts, just doing the drill.
So to dovetail off what Jim said, and first I'm going to make I'm going to self-promote here that both of these questions right here is exactly what Jim and I will be doing in the mastermind, in finding out and in helping you create the perfect sales process or funnel for each of those things and how to tie them together. And so the other thing I would say is, in terms of congratulations on writing 7 books, fantastic. So what you have to your advantage, what you've got over most of the population who are just thinking or noodling about an idea to even write a book, you've already written a book, which puts you up close. You've already positioned yourself at the top of the food chain as an expert and an authority in whatever it is you're writing about. Now, it's just a marketing proposition. Everything else is marketing from here on out. And how do you do that?
And just looking, I went over and looked at his website, and there's a whole bunch. You've got the Legos here, but you need to reassemble them. Just looking at this right here, I can tell you right now, you've got all the raw materials, but you've got to rearrange your Legos, and we're missing hooks and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just looking at there's a whole bunch of stuff on here that can be fixed that'll get you closer to what you're trying to get done.
And from what you're seeing there, Jim, because I don't see it, would you say, do you know what audience he's trying to attract with that?
I think so.
Those
Yeah.
hooks and headline.
Yeah, I think we're going after older folks that want to get in better shape.
Okay.
At least that's the impression I'm getting from this, which is great. But it's just number one, there's no hook. There's no hook when I show up to the website. That's number one thing. So, but anyway, not a cut, just an observation. This is the kind of thing that if Dean and I were to sit down with you for 2 hours and go through this, your mind would be blown. B, you would have a whole bunch of really profitable things to do to your website. And yeah, you're who we're looking for. So there you go. Now this is an interesting question. We could take this real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Diego asks a good question. Let me look over at the Jim and Stu. And this is okay. We got to answer this other one too, because I have a whole lot of thoughts on
You're
this
opening
one.
up a can of worms here.
There is a worm can being opened, but I wanna hit this. Okay. So Diego asked, Jim, what are your thoughts on Facebook offense, defense playing on changing the name to Meta? What kind of moves are you going to implement towards the metaverse? Same question, Dean. So I'll make this real quick. Facebook is just trying to have Facebook, in a lot of ways, it looks like Zuckerberg is just copying Google. It's like Google created Alphabet, and it's like, oh, the cool kids are creating an umbrella company that they can bring this stuff on. And I mean, if you look at your phone, when you look at the stuff with Facebook, they got like the Facebook icon and the Instagram icon and the Oculus icon and all this other stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing that. Do I think what does it mean one way or another? As far as marketing, it's creating a whole new pain in the neck for them to have another thing that they have to kind of market or brand or do whatever, but I don't care. He's rich and he's weird. So the thing as far as the metaverse, what are my moves? I'm really, really paying attention to virtual reality. Number one, because the games are cool. And number two, because it's the first baby steps. We're back to like 1997 with the internet when you're talking about virtual reality. I've played around with some cool tools, cool ideas with crappy execution. One was a 3D mind mapping thing where you could take it was like that Minority Report thing. It was cool in practice. It was cool in the idea. The implementation was not great. Someday it will be amazing. What I think has to happen for that, though, and then the other thing that I think is really cool, like right now I'm sitting here with 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors hooked up, 2 cameras, lights, microphone, this thing that controls everything, a clicker, all this different stuff that I have to, conduct. And one of the things that got me really excited about Oculus that still has not come to really fruition was the idea of having a portable office inside of the Oculus thing so that you could put on the headset and you got virtual screen. So I would have virtual screen here, here, and here, and I've got a keyboard and all this other stuff, and I could literally put on my thing, go to work, take it off, take it with me anywhere. So it reduces all of this stuff down to a simple headset. The problem is that within 30 to 40 minutes of wearing that headset, your neck feels like someone's beating on you with a baseball bat, and your ears feel like you've got 2 midgets swinging on them like circus monkeys, and it's very uncomfortable. When they get it to the point where you're wearing something that is about as heavy as these glasses and this headset, these headphones, that's when it's really going to take off. When you can just put it on and they got the battery life and all the other stuff, that's when it's really going to take off, in my opinion. So again, what are my thoughts? I'm looking at it for how can I help people to create content? How can I help them to create sales messages? How can I help them and help myself? I mean, looking at my own business, creating content, creating sales messages, again, cool idea, crap implementation. There's this, I forget the name of this thing, but they have, literally you can go into the metaverse with your thing and go to a trade show. Everybody's got their little avatar that represents them, and you're literally walking around on a trade show floor. You can interact with people. You can walk into the big auditorium, see the big presentation. I think it will get to that point, and I think it will happen faster than 20 years. I think it'll happen in the next 3 to 6 years. You'll have just a super lightweight headset that's amazing, that you'll see people sitting in parks pulling the thing out. Because right now you can't wear those outside. They don't work. You've got to have an enclosed space. Even if it's a bigger enclosed space, you've still got, because it's got to have reference points and other stuff. So the technology is not quite there yet. So anyway, that's my knee-jerk reaction to it. I do follow it a lot. So, Dean?
Well, what you said at the top, I agree with. They're modeling hacking Google, creating an umbrella company. I think right now, with the timing of the announcement, Zuckerberg looks like he's trying to divert attention from all these congressional hearings and the security issues that they're having to face and all the crap. And depending on how much you watch the news, if you watch the news and you're a big consumer, no matter what network you're watching, it's not going to make a difference because you're focusing on Zuckerberg as evil. But if I'm
not focused on him being that he's evil.
Hold on. Okay. I'm not saying it's got nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
So if that's where your focus is, then he's evil. Just like Google was evil. We do no evil, but then people were like, Google's evil, because they're steering you and their algorithm is skewed. And if you do a search, it's going to come up and the first page is going to be people who pay the most. Whatever you want to believe, if it's organic or if it's paid, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is, what do you believe? Yeah. And nobody's going to change your belief. It's like going on Facebook.
It's like a fair election.
And you're seeing a political discussion and people screaming at one another, and then you're saying, oh, that person changed my mind. It's just, that's an alternate universe. It's not going to happen. So whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. They're going to do what they do. These companies, whether it's Elon Musk and Tesla, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Facebook, they've got more money than government. So they're going to do what they want. And the worst that can happen to these guys, and they know it, they just attorney up, they pay some fines, which is nothing to them, and they're going to continue to do what they want. So it really doesn't matter what we think of the metaverse. It doesn't matter, because all it is an opinion, and it's not going to affect the way and the trajectory that this company, Facebook.
You mean Meta, not metaverse, but Meta. The name Meta, not metaverse. Meta. Okay.
Meta. It's an umbrella company, just like Alphabet is with Google. They could be they could be doing this for tax reasons. They could be doing it to divert attention from something. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
All we are is an opinion.
Right. So was that a period, or were you going to keep going? Because I wanted to go ahead.
Here, no, you can put the button on it.
So I'll tell you a quick story. So a good friend of mine, he and I used to play a game called Call of Duty when it first came out. And this is back in 2003 when Call of Duty first came out. And 2003, 2004, the very first Call of Duty. And he and I would get on, and it was this real elaborate thing. They didn't have invoice chat or anything like that. But we had all this equipment to be able to do conference calls and everything else. So it was easy for us to get on and then play a game, and we could do all kinds of stuff where we'd play music and sound effects through the game and make people listen to it. They couldn't do anything about it. But he said something to me that it was interesting. He's like, because we would play every day. This is before I worked out. this was where this was my big thing. And I'd play 2 to 3 hours a day. And so he made the comment one day, I haven't seen you in a year, but I feel like I see you every day, because we had our own little, not avatars in it, but we each played the same character. And so I talked with him, saw his character, interacted with his character while I was interacting with him. And so it really felt like we were spending time together, albeit on a World War II battlefield driving around tanks. And so if they can get it to the point where it feels like you are interacting truly with an individual person, so that you and I could easily, like, we both put on our stuff and we say, hey, Dean, I want to watch, do you want to go watch Shawshank Redemption with me? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And so we meet at the theater. We take our little guys into the theater. We sit down. I can look over and see your avatar. You're watching. We can hear each other, like, shh, dude, hush, and like, and we're able to interact as if we were together, albeit with these little avatars or with something that I can clearly identify as Dean and he with me. That's when it's going to take off. That's when it's really going to be insanely popup when it feels like you're together.
And when it feels like everybody agrees with everything that you say.
No, not at all. But I mean, if you think about it like this, between over on our website and here, on and off through the whole thing, we've had about 20 people the whole time consistently. So imagine if we all had our little headsets on and you and I were sitting up at the front, like, at the actor studio type thing. Mm-hmm. We've designed our cool little set, and you and I are sitting in there. And everybody's out there. We can see Diego. We can say Mateus. We can see Susan and Alex and everybody else. Okay, and they can raise their hands and they can, we can unmute them or they can talk. Hey, and like fire a laser at them and mute them or whatever. That's when, in my opinion, for the stuff like we're doing here, it's really going to take off. When you can say, hey, I want to go look at a car. You put on your little headset. You go to the Chevy dealership. And you meet the salesperson virtually for real, and you do a virtual walk around of a car and can ask questions and interact and stuff just like you would have as a regular person. That's when it's going to take off, at least for what we're talking about here. Does that make sense? At least to me. Yeah. Okay, so last thing, so Alex asked, this is over on the jimanddeanshow.com. How can I use funnel scripts to send out cold emails to my potential clients? A lot of my emails are ending up in the spam folder. Let me reread that. How can I use funnel scripts to send out cold emails to my potential clients? A lot of my emails are ending up in the spam folder. Well, the problem is that when you send emails, cold email means you're sending email to someone who does not know who you are, who is not expecting your email, asking them for something. Either time, attention, or money, or some a combination of the above, you are technically spamming them. So that's why it's spam. It's ending up in spam. And the more you want to make it sound like sales copy, the more it's going to end up in spam. So if you... Did you want to say something?
I'm going to wait till you're done.
So if you want to send cold emails to people, you need to send them one at a time, and you need to know something about these people so that you can send them an email that looks like an actual human being sent them the email, instead of all the emails that I actually pay money to not have to look at by using SaneBox. By the people who send, sort of looks like it's a real person, but it's not, canned stuff about everything from, hey, great interview for your podcast. Well, the kind of interview you're suggesting for my podcast shows you've never even checked out my podcast. So I'm going to tell you that, no, you shouldn't use funnel scripts to try and do cold emails to potential clients, because they're not going to work. They're designed to go to people who know you, have given you permission to send them stuff at a minimum. And so that's my advice on that. Dean, I will be quiet now.
You said it all. If you don't have permission, if somebody has not opted into your list, You should not be sending them an email. That's spam. That's just unethical.
I disagree. You can send them an email.
Permission.
Well, no, I think you could send them an email, but send them an email. Don't send them a freaking advertisement. That's my point.
But where are you getting these people from? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not sending them.
Exactly. That's my point.
But I've emailed people I didn't know.
Are you buying a list? Are you doing a drop? What are you doing? I want to know where he's getting the emails from. But just to take people random and their email address and to send them an email, I mean, have something. What's the connection? Where's the connection?
There you go. That's you said it. That was very eloquent. That's the part I left out. What is the connection? What's the reason why you're emailing them that is going to be relevant to them? Otherwise, it's just spam. But if I didn't know you, Dean, but I found you and I were to say, hey, Dean, hi, Dean, Jim Edwards here. Hey, Dean, we've never talked before, but I found you on Facebook in a copywriting forum, and I wanted to talk to you about a piece of software that might help you. If you could give me 5 minutes of your time, or here's a, that, but even that's too much. It's like a two-liner is what you want.
Here's something that can help you. That's what I would do. How are you of benefit to that person?
Okay, but it also depends on what your objective. If you're trying to sell them something, but just coming right out and saying, "Hey, Dean, I found you on this. This really is me sending you this email. This is my personal email address, and I have a tool that I really think, based on the comment that I saw you make on Facebook or what I saw on your blog, this really might help you. This is it. And if you have any questions, let me know." The other thing is that the shorter it is, the more you have a chance of actually getting through all the filters and all the other stuff. Because every once in a while, one of these things makes it through my filter, and the ones that actually make it through are super short and look like they came from a real person. But I don't think you should never send email to someone you don't know. Especially
in my head, I'm going sending stuff in bulk. That's where my head went. He's looking at funnel script so I could send a bunch of people an email, and that's not what you're talking about, which is a one-to-one, honest to goodness connection.
Right. Because the other stuff
is just spam. The other stuff is all about you, and you're looking to sell something.
Your better bet is to try and make a connection with them on social media and approach them that way. But everybody wants the easy fix. Everybody wants I just want to send an email and make money. That's not how it works. It's all about relationships. In fact, tomorrow we're going to be talking about that on when I do my podcast. But I mean, it's all about trying to just develop a relationship, develop the word you use, the C word, connection. What's the connection? What's the connection? Why should I even listen to you? And Diego said, simple, clear, and concise wins every time. The more you talk, the more you try and sell, the worse it's going to be. Because normal people, you should see the emails that Dean sends me. They're like 3 or 4 words. That's how people email. That's how friends email. We all have that one friend that wants to email the 5,000 word paragraph in all caps, but it's not our friend anymore. But real people send short emails. Hey, dude, check this out. Hey, Dean, saw this and thought of you. But the big thing is just explaining what's the connection. Anyway, that's my answer.
I'm the Emperor of Selassie. We could use some help.
And if you can just help us, my nephew is marooned in the Congo,
in the Mauritius.
There you go. All right, that's it. Hey, one more time, if you think that you would be a good fit for the Jim and Dean Copywriters Inner Circle Mastermind, check it out.
And don't be scared. As we say in the sales letter, it's not just about copy, and you don't have to be a good copywriter or a great copywriter. We will teach you and show you how to think like a great copywriter.
Right. Anna said, please share why we shouldn't use funnel scripts for cold emails, because it's not designed to send. A cold email is spam. That's bottom line. It's funnel scripts. There's no such thing as a great spam email. What I'm telling you is that you shouldn't use funnel scripts to.
You shouldn't use any kind of. You shouldn't be writing emails yourself, or use funnel scripts, or use any kind of software to write cold emails to spam.
Right. Well, then Alex says, I'm reaching out for mentorship, not in bulk, individual personalized emails I send to authorities like you in the marketing space. Again, if no one knows who you are, they're not going to respond. You have to develop a relationship first. That's the bottom line. Is it doesn't matter whether you hire Dean to write the emails, or whether you hire somebody off of Fiverr, or whether you use funnel scripts, or you use some far inferior product developed in a third world country. The bottom line is sending email to someone who doesn't know who you are, who isn't expecting the email, and has no clue what you're all about is basically spam.
So
and it's
go ahead.
No, I was just going to, and it's no matter where the source of the email, it's the fact that there's no connection. That's what kills it. And so if you're actually going to reach out to people that you don't know, you should do it on an individualized basis, but you better be able to somehow establish a connection with them in the email other than I want something from you, which is normally what people are doing.
Perfect example. And this speaks to both what you said and what we're being asked here. In Fill My Webinar Scripts, we created affiliate swipes, affiliate emails. And these are cold outreach emails, but they are written in such a way that it creates engagement and connection. And here's proof that these work, because it's done in the right way. It's done in a way that Jim is alluding to. We had someone who purchased Fill My Webinar Scripts, used this affiliate email, lives in the UK, and she wanted to get a government contract. She said she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say, used one of the affiliate swipes, massaged a little bit for her business, sent it, and she got the contract on one email, cold outreach. Now, that might be something that you're talking about. However, it started the conversation. It may not get the sale. It probably 99% won't get the sale, but it will start the conversation, because this wasn't about making a sale. It was about making a connection, and all of these emails that were created in these affiliate swipes were about how they are a benefit to the person you're reaching out to. And not in terms of a sale, but in terms of, here are the benefits. Yep. Here's what you stand to gain by working together with me.
Not what you, the person sending the email, want.
Right.
Because that's what everybody wants, something. And it's like delete, 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 delete. That's all. Everybody wants something. So it wasn't Anna that asked that. It was Alex that asked that.
Well, Anna asked too. Anna said, please share why shouldn't we use funnel scripts for cold emails?
Right. But, okay.
Yes. And I think it goes back to intent.
Right.
What's your intent?
Right. And most people, but that goes for all marketing too. Most people's marketing and why it doesn't work is because it's like, I want
push marketing. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, we got to go because I got another meeting. So great job, everybody. Go check out the Inner Circle. Let us know if you're interested. We already have people coming in, so it's not going to take long to fill up. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody. Great job, Dean.
Bye.